Hi, it's Rebecca Lowy from the State's Attorney's Office. I think I'm supposed to be here for her today.
Rebecca, you're going to be our legal representative today?
For today I am. Yes, sir.
All right, good to see you. Okay. All right, who we missing? Anyone? Jazz Village. We're missing Jazz, right? Let's see here. Yeah, looks like we're all here. What time do we have here? Oops.
I have 4:28, Jim.
2 more. Okay. 2 more minutes to launch. I assume everyone's got themselves familiar with our huge agenda today.
Amen.
Yeah. Say, Patrick, as long as you're on the line, have we figured out our meeting Thursday? Is it going to be live or a hybrid deal or Zoom, or what are we doing?
It's a combination of both, Jim. We're having the meeting in the boardroom. We're all ready to go. For those members that want to attend, we're encouraging that. But we are offering the Zoom option for those
Okay.
members that can't make it.
Okay,
I sure hope I'm on the Zoom method.
Yes, Angie, you are.
Thank you.
Yep.
Carl, I see, oh, it looks like Troy's there now. He was having trouble. I could see it flashing off and on. Oh, there's Chris is here as well. So, yeah, if Chris is here, man, we're ready to go. All right, so it looks like it is 4:30 and time to start this meeting. This is a zoning committee of Winnebago County, Wednesday, April 21st, 2021. The members present are myself, Jim Webster, Angie Gorel, Steve Schultz, David Kelly, Tim Neighbors, Aaron Booker. It appears Jazz is absent. I don't see him here. And also we have Troy Krupp and Carl Palmquist from our zoning office, Chris Dornbush, Economic Development Director, and we have Rebecca, and I'm sorry, I didn't get Rebecca's last name, but we have,
It's Lowy, L-A-U-E.
okay, and Rebecca is here from the Assistant State's Attorney's Office to help us with any legal matters that may arise. Patrick, did anyone sign up from the public to?
Not to my knowledge, Mr.
Okay,
Chair,
that's-
no speakers.
All right, then I will dispense with this announcement we generally make when there is public here. If that's all right with everyone. Looks like we get joined by Paul Arena. I thought I saw his name come up here, yes. So he's here as well. Oh, there's Laffa. Laffa's here as well. Good Lord, we got the crowd. Okay, I guess I need an approval of March 24th meeting. Got a motion by David and a second by
Tim Neighbors.
Tim. There's Tim. Thank you, Tim. Okay. Let's see, anyone opposed to the motion of the minutes? Anyone have anything to add or to the minutes? Nothing? Okay, all in favor of approval of the minutes? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
No opposed, motion carries, okay. We got a very short agenda then. We have Z0221. That's a map amendment to rezone 24.66 acres. And it's from District 2, the CG General Commercial District, requested by Diane Rote. Has everyone read all the minutes of the meeting and that? Are we familiar with this?
Yes.
Okay. This came from the Zoning Board of Appeals with the recommendation for approval, 5-0. By the way, it's in County Board District 8 for the record. Anybody want to make a motion to get this up for discussion? Motion by Mr. Kelly. Okay. Discussion? Mr. Kelly, you want to start out? Your button. Hey, we can't hear you. Can't hear
Unmute.
Mute.
I'm sorry, doing two properties that are on each side of a commercial already, and it's along an area that's bound to become commercial, so it makes sense to do it.
Okay. Before let me interject here for a minute before anyone else weighs in, is that the city of Rockford, it appears they're going to decide to cast a legal objection against this. Now, of course, they could withdraw that, but if that goes through with the legal objection from the city, then that will cause us to go to a supermajority vote, just so you all understand that. So, okay, so let's proceed. Mr. Kelly and then Angie.
Okay.
Thank you, Chairman. So they're objecting to the fact that they don't want to annex to the city.
The city is objecting to their application for the zoning change. Okay.
Because they don't want to annex.
Yeah, yes. And so the city's position is they want them to annex there because of the water issue and so forth like that. But the petitioner in the minutes there, the petitioner's position was they're not ready to do anything right now, basically. And so they don't see a need why they should annex to the city. And in the future, part of that they may want to give to the not hockey, but soccer club. And so they had their reasons apparently. So Ms. Goro.
But usually with the city, they would do a pre-annexation agreement. Why would they just not do that?
Apparently they had their reasons. It is their property and they can do as they see fit with it. Now, the curious thing is that if something did happen, then they would have to go to get the water from the city anyways. And so at that point, then they would have to do the annexation. But right now, apparently they're just not comfortable with it. Staff, you want to weigh in on this? You got anything to say about it, Troy?
I would like to hear from Lafa because she was an attorney for the city. And as being an attorney for the city, I'm sure she's familiar with why the city at this time would maybe not approve this or do an annex agreement.
Chairman, if I may.
Yes, go ahead, Lafa.
So unfortunately, Angie, we never did an objection while I was with the city. The first one we were going to do, we withdrew it. But based on the resolution that was provided by the city, it's their position that this proposed amendment is not consistent with the city's comprehensive plan. And they also don't want to approve it with no plans in place by the developer. So that's essentially what their resolution is.
And I appreciate that because not having a plan, they don't even know what the zoning is going to end up as. And so I can see their position and why they wouldn't sign it at this time or would object to it. Even though, and they have not given us any reason of how they're going to use that plan also. I have a problem with that. They want us to change zoning, but they have no plan to go along with it. And it's just some, in the future, this is what we're gonna do. That means in the future, they're gonna come back and maybe ask us to rezone, do special use. So we don't even know what they're going to be using this land for, other than maybe a soccer field. Thank you.
All right, let me say that I see we have Bryce Hopt. I'm not sure who he is. So I also have David Kelly wants to say something. I have Chris Dornbush, and I definitely still want to hear from staff as well. So David Kelly's got his hand up, so I'm going to go to David first.
Thank you, Chairman. They're not wanting to pay city taxes. And it's 7 acres out of the 24 going to the soccer field or the soccer group.
That's a great point because, you know, their taxes would likely go up. And if the land is not being used for anything now, you know, I would understand that. Let me go back to
Chris,
Mr. Hopp. Did he sign up to speak, Patrick?
I don't believe so, Mr. Chairman. I think he might be staff.
Staff, okay. Because I should say.
Maybe Chris can introduce Bryce.
Chris, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Webster, Chairman Webster. Yeah, Bryce Hapt is our new hire in our office. He is filling our GIS and zoning position that's been vacant since last August. So we just got him up and I wanted to kind of introduce so the committee could kind of see his face, and he just came to us. He was working up in Rock County and he's just our new hire in our zoning division. And so the board members and staff can see who he is, and see how zoning committee kind of works. So that's all. Thank you.
Okay, well then, thank you for that, and welcome aboard, Bryce. I expect we'll be seeing more of you. So anyone else want to add anything to this before I go to Troy? Troy, you want to weigh in on this?
The only thing I have to add is the applicant claimed that the requested commercial zoning will make the site more appealing to potential buyers. Other than that, I think you did a real good summary, Mr. Webster.
Thank you.
Mr. Webster.
We might add, excuse me, Angie, but we might add that the statement that came like from the city, there's something in there says talking about intergovernmental cooperation, but it appears that they're not willing to cooperate on this by letting the county do what the county does. And so my personal feeling on this, and this is just me personally, my personal feeling on this is it appears the city's kind of just flexing their muscles, which they have the legal right to do. Okay, so Angie, you had something else you wanted to add?
We had this kind of a situation not too long ago on Harrison, close to Perryville. And the gentleman wanted his property to be rezoned for commercial because it wasn't, but he had that same feeling that if he zoned commercial, he would have a better opportunity for an investor to purchase that land or that house and building. And he could get a bit better price for it because it was zoned commercial. As I recalled, we turned him down. This isn't the first time we have had this. And I think we need to take a close look at that because we need to know what the land is going to be used for before we go and start changing zoning. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Mr. Kelly.
Let's see. Mr. Kelly's had his hand up. Okay.
Yeah, it's in accordance with the land use plan.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly.
Can I speak again? The other incident that
Yeah, go ahead.
also was across the street was commercial. And yet we turned it down because it was, the only reason they wanted that type of zoning was so they could get a better price for the land. It could be in our 2030 plan, but we still don't know what they're going to use it for. They can tell us, but that doesn't mean it. And I don't remember us really, Troy, do we rezone before they sell the land, or do we rezone after they sell the land?
I've seen it done both
You can do
ways.
Okay.
Yes, do it either way, Angie. A property owner is not, I don't know, necessarily legally bound to tell you exactly what they're gonna do with that. When you give them the nod to change that zoning, then afterwards, they could do whatever is legally available to them within that zoning classification. And now, maybe they think they want to have, who knows what, I'll just throw something crazy out there, but then in the meantime, they might change their mind and go to something else. And so the property owner has the legal right to ask for any zoning change that they would like. And as far as, I don't know what happened over on Perryville, I can't recall, but we're not dealing with that one. We're dealing with this issue here. And every issue that comes before us stands on its own merit. And so that's why I feel the way that I do about it.
Yeah, this is Steve.
Mr. Schultz, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do feel the betwixt and between on this one because you all know that I'm a staunch supporter of the 2030 land use plan. And I love the fact that this is consistent with that plan. However, I also have a history of being respectful of the municipalities when they express an objection. And the fact that this property cannot be built out until it connects with the sewer and water, it's inevitable that they're going to have to work with the city. And in my view, it's important for us to respect the city's position on this and allow them to work through the details of an annexation agreement, which will be required for this property effectively to be developed. So that's my view.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? I see no one else, no hands going up. Going once, going twice, okay. Well, then the motion's on the floor. All in favor of approving this map amendment, say aye. 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 Oh, David, are you seconding this?
Aye.
In favor, okay. I'm in favor of this. Aye. Opposed?
No,
No,
No.
Okay, so we got 3 no's, right?
You want to
Mr.
do a
Booker?
roll call, Jim?
Booker's an aye.
Can you, Chairman, may you do a roll call vote?
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna have to here because I don't see some and I can't hear some others. Okay, roll call vote for approving Z0221, the map amendment. Myself, aye. Angie Goro,
no,
Steve Schultz,
no,
David Kelly,
Aye.
Jazz Billich, absent. Tim Neighbors,
No.
Aaron Booker.
Aye.
Okay, so it would look like the tie vote here, so that would mean it that fails if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so that will still move forward to the full county board with a negative recommendation then. All right. Now, under other matters, we have a resolution calling for the government.
Jim?
Yes,
So the motion to approve the zoning failed. So did we discuss this? Did we change the board rules so that if motion fails in committee, that it still advances. I thought I can't remember if we changed that rule or not. That if it doesn't pass out of committee, it doesn't go to the board. I can't remember what.
Paul, hang on a second.
What?
Mr. Arena,
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
I will
Mr.
allow Mr.
Thompson is-
Arena to speak because he is a board member as well.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Thompson is correct. We changed the rules to say that if a matter fails in committee, it remains in committee.
Okay, it remains indefinitely? Or can it be brought back out of committee? Or what?
Mr. Webster,
Yes? Go ahead.
I don't recall the final version, but I think it excluded the zoning committee or zoning cases.
I'm trying to look it up now.
Excuse me, Ms. Ware. I thought all zoning matters had to go before the board, even though it didn't pass committee.
That's what I was under the assumption of. We're gonna get a legal opinion here. Mr. Kelly, you had something to say?
Mr. Webster, I do recall that there was some exception made to zoning matters, but I don't recall if it was on this point. So you will need the opinion of Ms. Vaughn.
Okay. In the meantime, we'll give Leif a chance to give us a legal opinion on this. And we can move on then to our other matters, which is the resolution. Excuse me.
Welcome to the.
Calling for the Governor and General Assembly to protect local control of zoning and land use with regards to commercial wind power, energy facilities, wind farms, so forth. Are you all familiar with this? Yes, no, maybe? Okay,
I,
Mr. Kelly is, Angie is. All right, so I need discussion on this. Now, this being a resolution, we can vote on this Thursday night.
That's correct.
Yes.
Could I get a staff opinion on this issue?
Staff opinion, Mr. Krupp or Mr. Dornbush or Troy?
If the county board wishes to maintain local zoning code, then we recommend that this resolution be approved.
I will say this to you about this. The resolution was drawn up. I mean, the Senate bills, what I'm trying to say, 1602 was drawn up by the Wind Farm Association. So you can assume it's drawn up to their advantage, or they wouldn't be asking for this. What this does is it cuts part of the decision-making out of a county when it comes to these wind farms. And so who better knows what they want in their county than the individual counties, not the state. And my opinion on this, it falls right in line with the recent thing we had with the hog farm issue. And people were up in arms about these hog farms. And we got numerous calls from people saying that we can't allow the zoning to happen for hog farm and things of this nature. And the fact of the matter is that we had no say so because they take place in agricultural land. And the county itself has no say so on the siting of a hog farm. That decision lies in the hands of the Department of Agriculture. And so we could jump up and down, stamp our feet and scream and holler about it, but there's nothing you could do about it because the Department of Agriculture holds all the cards on the decision-making process. And this goes down that same road of taking decision-making process away from the locals that are the most affected by it. In this case, we, the county of Winnebago. And I might add too that this resolution has been the United Counties Council of Illinois sent us an email through their lobbyist recommending counties get on board with this resolution opposing the Senate bill. And Boone County has sent their resolution in opposing it. The Farm Bureau has as well. And so I'm encouraging my fellow board members to jump on board with this and send this resolution down to the governor and the General Assembly.
I'd make a motion that we put this on the table for approval.
Thank you, Stephen. Anyone else want to weigh in on this issue? Mr. Kelly?
I'll second.
Mr. Kelly seconds. Okay. Anyone else want to weigh in on this?
Yeah,
Go ahead, Mr. Booker.
yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman. I was going to second that as well. And I'm in complete agreement with you, Mr. Webster, that it should be left in the county's hands because every county, 102 counties in Illinois, and we're all different. And we need that decision to be in our hands. Thank you.
Thank you. See, Mr. Kelly's got his hand up.
Thank you, Chairman. Forgot to say what I was going to say before. I think what this is all about is that the state legislature decided to pass this legislation deciding that such and such an arbitrary percentage of energy in Illinois, electricity, should be produced by renewable sources. And so this is designed, I think, to try to make that happen because they probably can't do it without it.
Could possibly be. All I know is this, is that all the other counties deal with wind farms and that by way of special use permits. And we drew up our own plan, our own manner of handling wind farms and solar farms and that. And it's within our ordinance now, 20-some pages dealing with that. And so when we did that, we picked apart information from every other county, what their arguments were for and against and that we pretty much included that in ours before we presented that. Ours has been tested in court, federal court, and we prevailed. And so ours is actually a model that other counties could use.
I have to agree with you, Jim. We did a lot of work and a lot of research on this before we put it into the 2030 plan. And you're absolutely right. We need to be able to be the ones who do the zoning on it, so we have control of where they go, how they go in, and that way we can maintain a good county status throughout the whole state of Illinois. I don't want someone from down south who's never even seen a windmill trying to tell us how we're going to do our work. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? It's been an interesting evening. Anyone else?
Jim, I just wanted to add that I believe we had over 5 nights of public hearings with regards to wind farms to create our wind farm ordinance. So it was a very extensive work. And it considered recommendations of the ZBA, recommendations of the zoning committee, and ultimately the county board.
Thank you, Troy. And I guess I should add that all the other counties, once again, that went by way of special use permit for siting these wind farms and so forth. Every time an applicant came in, every single time there was a lawsuit involved. And so we could see this, and thank goodness for our zoning staff, Troy and Chris and so forth. And we had a better way of viewing things. And so if we set up our rules and regulations for our county and then made those things allowable, if they could meet all of those guidelines that we set out, then they were allowable in the unincorporated areas, in the agricultural areas. So we did our due diligence on that, and when we decided to do that, we figured that we would get sued for that as well, which we did. But the difference is we prevailed in court on that. So as opposed to getting sued every time somebody wanted to do a wind farm, because we're going by way of a special use permit and getting sued time after time because of that whole process, we said, you know what, our thought process was, let's get our own rules and regs together. We'll get sued one time and get over the hump on that, which we did. We prevailed. And so now we don't have to be worried about that. It's one thing less to worry about. So anyways, if there's no other discussion on this, this being a resolution, all in favor of sending this resolution forward to the county board? Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, I'll go back to Lafa now. Should I do a roll call on that too, Lafa?
Well, I just wanted to inform the committee that under the rules of order, all zoning petitions from the zoning committee shall be taken up and acted upon, even if the committee does not recommend adoption or approval. So it does move forward to county board.
Okay. So that last issue we voted on was a 3-3 tie that still moves forward to the county board.
Yes,
Correct. Thank you very much for that research.
you're welcome.
Now, this latest one, we just voted on this resolution. Should I do a roll call? It came out unanimous approval.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought,
That's all right. No, we're good.
yes, just to be clear for the record, yes.
Okay, just to be clear for the record. All right, this is for a thumbs up on the resolution calling for the Governor General Assembly to protect local control by way of this resolution. So I'll start out myself. I'm in favor of Angie Goro,
Yes.
Steve Schultz,
Yes.
David Kelly. David Kelly,
Yes.
Tim Neighbors,
Yes.
Aaron Booker,
Yes.
and Mark J. Billich absent. Okay. Anything else for this committee this evening? And I would like a motion to adjourn from someone.
So be.
Motion by Angie
Second.
and a second by Tim.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, we stand adjourned. Thank you very much.
Before
Long meeting for us.
you all check off, for those of you who live in the city and have never seen a solar farm being built, I'm having one built in a quarry that's within 1,000 feet of my home in the center of Rockford. It's the old Horseman Quarry on Horseman Street. So if you ever want to see how they do it, drive by and take a look, because they're already putting in, have part of the footings in for the solar panels that will be going on top. It's interesting to watch. I have a bird's eye view. So just to let you know, if you've never seen one put together, you might want to drive by the Horseman Street Quarry and see the solar farm going up. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Hi, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.